Hey everybody, welcome to Touchdown BC. I'm Ryan Sullivan. You are in for an absolute shoeshine dandy of a Cullen Cup in the BCFC. We're on the home stretch for our local collegiate teams. BC High School football has taken things up a notch, and yes, we've got some drills for you kids out there to help take your game to the next level. First though, let's head to Kelowna for a Cullen Cup matchup for the ages. The Okanagan Sun hosting the Langley Rams.
The two best squads in the province meeting at the Apple Bowl. Nathan Lund opens the scoring for Langley with one of his two majors on the day. He'd finished the day with over 100 yards on the ground as well. Okanagan responds on the ground, though, in the form of Alex Bradley. He takes the handoff right down Main Street, right down the can. He passes by Roses. He cruises past the corral and doesn't stop till he hits Kalamalka 101 yards to the house. This puts the Sun in the lead. In the dying seconds, though, Lund takes another handoff to the outside. Nobody is going to catch him. Nobody is going to catch the Langley Rams in BC. They win. They take the Cullen Cup 23-19 and are going to the Canadian Bowl final.
All right, an absolute beauty of a Cullen Cup. 23-19, the final score for Langley. We welcome in our BCFC insider, Alex Kerrigan. As always, what did you see? What did you like?
Ryan, I saw the best game in the BCFC this year. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen this game yet, please spend a couple of bucks and purchase this game online because it was just amazing. And it was the top two teams going against each other. Of course, Okanagan, a great home team. Langley, a pretty good team on their own, but 0-3 on natural grass, not so good on the road. Langley's defense showed up, and the big key for them in this game was they were able to force the Okanagan Sun to kick field goals as opposed to getting touchdowns, and that really helped them out in the fourth quarter. Speaking of the fourth quarter, they were able to stay composed, stay within shot of the lead, and they were able to get it in. Nathan Lund, of course, had a beautiful game. His blockers also had a great game, but the Langley Rams passing attack didn't quite get going until the second half. And in that second half, Malcolm Williams had a fantastic game.
All right, now we say it was a shocker because Langley came into this game pretty heavy underdogs. What does this win mean for that organization?
Well, it's huge. It's the second national championship that they've been to in 3 years. It really put the Langley Rams on the national stage here. And it's a rematch of the 2012 Canadian Bowl where the Saskatoon Hilltops came back into McLeod Athletic Park and beat the Rams on their own turf. The Rams looked really good in that game. They had it for the first 3 quarters, and then Saskatoon grinded it out, and they won it in the last 3 minutes. Langley really wants this redemption game, and it's big for them.
All right, now let's set it up. Let's get the preview. Hilltops, Rams, go.
The Saskatoon Hilltops, they play a very similar defense to the Langley Rams. They play a good cover 3 with a little bit, they're a little softer. Of course, they're Prairie Boys. They're quite a bit bigger. We really got to look out for the offensive line and the defensive line on them. But Langley, like I said, their running attack and their running defense showed up. I think that could be a big difference with the Langley Rams. Of course, we're going to have a more extensive preview next week, but the Saskatoon Hilltops, look out for their passing attack. That's kind of underrated for them. Although they're good at although they're good at running the football, they're also very talented through the air. And it's the Nationals. It's big. It's the Nationals, Ryan.
It's the biggest stage money can buy in junior football. His name's Alex Kerrigan. He's our BCFC insider. Coming off that big win last week over South Dakota School of Mines and Technology, the Clan were looking for more and to keep their winning ways and winning trends alive at Western Oregon. The Wolves had other ideas, though, as they too have a fight on their hands to hang in there with the best in the GNAC standings. A loss would be rough for both sides, but Western Oregon takes on the always solid Azusa Pacific next week, so this was kind of a must-win for the American squad. Let's head out to Monmouth, Oregon to see how the Clan fared in enemy territory.
After forcing the Wolves to punt on their first drive, SFU had to do the same, but the snap goes over the head of Nikolai Carpoon, giving Western Oregon great field position. However, SFU does get it back. Jordan Herdman forces and recovers the fumble, keeping the game scoreless early on. Late first, Ryan Bergman tosses one up for Tyrell Williams. He makes a nice juggling grab. Western goes up 7-0. After a sputtering opening quarter, the Clan offense picks things up as Ryan Stanford connects with Lamar Durant. This one is a 60-yard gain, leading to a Tiernan Doherty field goal. Then on the next Wolves possession, Jordan Herdman picks off Bergman, and on the very first play after the change of possession, Stanford goes yard, this time back to Durant. It's a 51-yard connection, making it 10-7 for the Clan at the half. But the Wolves would come out in the third quarter hungry, as Bergman escapes the pressure and finds Paul Revis. That one is in the corner, putting the ball at the SFU 1. A few plays later, Bergman finds the receiver in the back of the end zone to put Western Oregon back up 14-10. The Clan would respond, though, with 2 field goals from Doherty, putting them ahead 16-14 early in the fourth. Looking to extend that lead, the Clan begin to unravel as after a bad snap, Stanford throws it up for grabs in the back of the end zone. That one's picked off, giving Western some momentum. On 3rd and 10, Bergman and Williams hook up again for a 37-yard gain, keeping the drive alive. Later that same possession, it was Revis' turn as he makes a beautiful diving grab for the score and the lead as well. Western back up 21-16, and that would be it for SFU as the Wolves would ice it. Revis gets behind the Clan secondary and waltzes into the end zone. That makes it 27-16. That's how it would end. So the Clan with another loss to add to their total as they take on Humboldt State from Swangard this weekend. Meanwhile, Western Oregon heads to Azusa Pacific. And now here is a look at your updated GNAC standings.
All right, we've been down this road before. Another loss for Simon Fraser. We welcome in our SFU insider, Mackenzie Dalgleish. Mackenzie, break it down for us.
Well, this game just seemed like SFU was missing a piece, just one piece. They had over 460 yards of total offense, but only 16 points scored. That's nothing against Tiernan Doherty. He went 3 of 5 on field goal attempts, made some 40-yarders. But still, you got to score touchdowns to win games. And SFU was able to get into Western Oregon territory. 8 of their 15 drives that didn't end a half. So their full drives were in Western Oregon territory, but only 16 points to show for. And unfortunately, that's why the game. They had them on the ropes. They had Western Oregon. They had the momentum. And then an interception early in the fourth quarter by Ryan Stanford in the end zone went for a touchback, and that just seemed to put the wheels off the car, and everything came crashing down from there.
Yeah, you can't win games on field goals. You don't win friends with salad. Let's break it down. Who was your standout? I mean, let's look for a grain of salt in the loss here. Who stood out for you?
Yeah, running back Stephen Spagnola. Cole Tudor injured last week against South Dakota. Chris Tolbert now playing cornerback, so their top 2 running backs out. Stephen Spagnola, third string, comes in, and what does he do? He rushes for 132 yards on 24 carries. Great showing. He was running through people, around people, fought for every yard. And I give credit to the offensive line. It was a makeshift offensive line. Stefan Tonge unable to go, so they had to kind of switch things up. Stephen Spagnola able to do that. On the defensive side, we've talked a lot about Jordan Herdman, but this time it was Justin Herdman who stood out. He came in and forced a fumble, recovered a fumble, and he was all over the backfield, or into the backfield, all over the field, deflecting passes, getting pressure on the quarterback. Jamie Puffer, defensive end, getting into the backfield and getting some tackles for a loss. So there were some standouts, and then obviously Lamar Durant. He's back to his 2012 self. The Wolves were trying to cover him, but they couldn't. 10 receptions, 184 yards, 1 touchdown, and he could just kind of do what he wants. But unfortunately, you have to play 60 minutes, not 50 minutes, which is what SFU did, and that's why they ended up losing. They just couldn't play a whole game, and that's kind of been their Achilles heel all season, that they'll show some good stuff, but then show some bad stuff as well.
All right, now the road doesn't get any easier for SFU. They do come home, which is nice, but they got Humboldt State, who's a hot-looking team right now. Set this one up for us.
Well, Humboldt State, top 2 team in the conference, coming off a year where they didn't win a game, kind of an anomaly for them. But their team's back, they're healthy, they're humming along, and SFU again kind of in the crossfires. They do get to come home, as you mentioned. Their final 3 games are at Swangard Stadium and allowed them a chance to play in front of their fans after their last road game of the season against Western Oregon. But still, they're going to have to show some improvement, and they have improved. The last time they played Western Oregon, they lost 38-14. This time it was 27-16. So they are improving, but I don't think it's enough to do anything to Humboldt State, but hopefully they can make a game of it, keep it close, and who knows, on any given Saturday, a game could happen and SFU could come through with it.
There you go. His name's Mackenzie Dalgleish. He's our SFU insider. All right, out to Calgary we go. The UBC Thunderbirds are coming off a huge win over Regina last week to help keep their playoff hopes alive. Now they're alive, but they still need quite a few things to go right for them to squeak into the postseason. One of those things was a win in Calgary. Is it absolutely vital that they win? No. Is it fairly crucial? Yeah, kind of. The Dinos already took it to UBC once this season in the T-Birds home opener back in September. Would their fate be the same with a late October rematch? We go out to McMahon Stadium to find out.
A capacity crowd at McMahon Stadium. Early first cue, Dinos pivot Andrew Buckley calls his own digits. He takes it 35 yards all the way home. A few minutes later, it's Mercer Timmis' turn. He gets right back into the end zone as he usually does. He then conducts one of the most creative and well choreographed touchdown celebrations you will ever see. Less than 6 minutes in, and it's already 15 bagel for the Dinos. Third Q, CGY up by 39. Buckley to Jake Hardy for the major. This one was never close. Calgary earns top spot in the conference with a very decisive win over the flightless and fightless T-Birds. With the loss, UBC's chances of making the postseason are on thin ice. They will need to beat the Huskies in their final game and hope for help from the rest of the conference, while Calgary has punched its way to the postseason and will play and host a Hardy Cup semifinal on November 7th. And let's take a look now at your updated Canada West standings.
Wow, that is a loss and a half. We welcome in our UBC insider, as always, Andrew Wadden. Is there good? Can we start with the good?
Well, there's not much good. Let's put it that way. The good that came out of this whole thing, if there was anything in a loss like that, is the fact that the UBC Thunderbirds, surprisingly enough, are actually still alive. They still could make the playoffs in the Canada West, although they're clinging to life support at the moment. They got to get a big win against Saskatchewan this coming week, and then they got to get some help from the rest of the players or the teams in the conference. But if there's anything that's good, any sort of positive we can take out of it, it's the fact that they are staying alive.
Yeah, and luckily they're playing on fake grass, so they didn't get any grass stains on their uniforms. Also a positive, because they just ran out of detergent at UBC. Let's hit the bad.
Well, the bad goes down like this. 5 minutes and 32 seconds into the game, and you're already down 16-0. 26-0 after the first quarter. You could say that the Calgary Dinos, in a blowout win like that, actually took their foot off the gas. So that's not good whatsoever. We've previewed a guy last week named Suk Chung, who is a Port Coquitlam boy who plays for Calgary. He's going to be one of the top CFL draftees this year, offensive lineman. He didn't even play in this game, and Calgary still got over 400 yards of rushing on the day. UBC with just over 200 yards of total offense. And get this, though, 34 yards of that came in a passing play in garbage time in the fourth quarter. So let's just say that the T-Birds didn't show up to play, and they got their butts kicked.
Yeah, that's the bad. What's the ugly?
Well, we kind of spoke about this in past episodes, and I for one don't think this should happen. But Sean Olsen's job could be on the line right now, and I don't think it should be, because, I mean, Sean really has too much work, in my opinion, on his plate. He's the offensive coordinator for the team, as well as being the head coach. He lost 2 assistants last year that left, and that really compiled more work onto Sean. I think what Sean really needs to do is take some of that work and spread it out to others. Maybe finding himself a new offensive coordinator would be somewhere to start, at least. But, you know, in a season like this, a head could roll, and it could be Sean's, and that could be the ugly of the whole situation.
All right, let's go right to those weekly picks.
All right, weekly picks this week is, first we're going to start with a Western Mustang named Justin Sanvito. He's the brother of Garrett Sanvito, who we featured on last week's episode. Justin got his first touchdown of the season for the Mustangs. He's a wide receiver, 4 receptions, 104 yards, and it was a big win for the Mustangs because they were able to secure the 3rd spot in the OUA, and they're going to have a home playoff game in the first round of the playoffs. My 2 other picks are from the Queens Gales. Of course, Alex Carroll, who we spoke about. This will be the 3rd time that we spoke about him. I just got to give props to Alex one last time, because this is it. His career is now done as a Queens Gale. He finished the season with 52 receptions, which is the 5th most in school history in a single season. He had 875 yards on the year, which is the 7th most in school history. And they also got a really big win over Carleton, which made Carleton not make the playoffs. And the 3rd one I want to talk about is Jason Shamatutu. from the Queens Gales as well.
Can you say that one more time?
Jason Shamatutu.
Nice, okay.
All right, he is a defensive back for the Queens Gales. He's a rookie. He has 2 interceptions on the year. Got a really big interception in the third quarter against the Carleton Ravens. The Ravens were driving and kind of scratching away. It was 22-3 at the time, and they're on the 13 of Queens' 13, that is. And he got the interception. He's got 33.5 tackles this year, having a fantastic rookie season in a very young secondary. So he's looking to have a great career for the Gales moving forward. And with Yandika Belatoken, who we all know, or me and you know it is, to be a member of the all-name team in the CIS, Shamatutu is going to keep that history going for the Gales.
Unbelievable. You bring it every week. We had Van Gilswick last week. We got Shamatutu this week. Can we call him the ShamWow? Patent pending on that?
Absolutely, we can do that.
I like that. Okay, done deal. His name is Andrew Wadden. He's our UBC insider.
All right, let's take a good look at your AAA scoreboard from around BC high school football. And now let's take a look at your AA scoreboard from around the province. Now here are your updated AAA standings starting in the East. And finally, here are your Western Conference AAA standings.
All right, a good-looking week in BC high school football. We welcome in our insider, as always, Dino Jeremiah from Football BC. Now let's start things out. The champs, still looking like the champs. Mount Doug knocking off South Delta.
Yeah, Mount Doug, just an outstanding game by Shea Ferreneau. He was really impressive the way he ran the ball. And they beat up on South Delta. So, like you said, the champs are the champs until somebody can knock them off. So, very impressive win from the past provincial champs.
Yeah, and we gave the North Shore lots of praise last week. Handsworth taking one on the chin here from Vancouver College.
Yeah, Vancouver College is looking strong. A couple of wins against good teams. And went back and looked at some of their losses, and Doug Pauls, who does a great job with their defense, has missed several of their games which they have lost. And I think that's a key component to them playing well on defense. They missed him. So I expect that now as they start getting close to the playoffs here, Doug will be there and they'll be an improved football team, especially on defense.
All right, now we've covered high school football, kind of regional football. Let's cover the province now, provincial football. Team BC, what's the latest there?
Well, we got our provincial teams ramping up as the season ends. It's a great opportunity for players to get out and play against some of the other great players. Nothing is better than good players playing against good players and increasing the competition level. And our provincial coaches do an outstanding job. And you know, we go across the country and south of the border to showcase some of our best athletes. So we're looking forward to November the 11th is the next opportunity for us. So
very nice. His name's Dino Jeremiah. He's our high school football insider. All right, it's the part of the show where we like to throw some solid drills your way to get you primed for your next game. Let's catch up once again with Handsworth head coach Jay Prepchuk for some more Huck and Chuck.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is, in the process of throwing the football, is we want to have the quarterbacks be able to get a little bit more zip on the ball. So how do you do that? We're going to start off by showing you the proper grip and showing you a couple of drills to have the quarterbacks get a little more zip on the football. So Mihai, Lucas, and Theo are going to help us doing that right now by, first of all, getting used to having the ball in your hands, getting used to getting just your fingertips on the ball. We want to make sure that our palm is not on the ball. We want to be looking up. We don't want to be looking down at the ball, because oftentimes we're going to be taking the ball out of shotgun, and we want to have our head up so that we're focusing on the defense. We're just moving the ball down, around, kind of like some basketball drills, a little wider base, guys. Good, kind of in between, there you go, just regular basketball kind of drills, some figure eights. Good. Good. And then moving right up to the grip. So when we move on the grip, you guys, we want to really focus on not putting your palm on the ball. Guys, if we put the palm on the ball like that and try to cock your wrist there and try to get a little bit of momentum from your wrist, try that right now. Just put your palm on the ball and kind of put the ball in turn. It's a little more difficult to turn your wrist when we're doing this. It's a little more difficult to get that power generated from that wrist if you have your palm on the ball. So we're going to really focus on getting the ball up, and see how Theo is here. Good. Nope, absolutely no palm on the ball right there. You should be able to slide your finger right through there, slide your finger right through there. And as far as the laces are concerned, where your hand is on the laces, we're not going to be too concerned about where your hand is. We want it to be comfortable. If somebody's not throwing a proper spiral, we might have them move their hand up slightly so that they can get a better release with their index finger right there. So with Theo's grip right here, I'm not going to change that a lot. He's obviously comfortable with that. Same with Lucas. You can see Lucas puts his hand a little bit higher up in the ball. Mihai kind of in the same. So what's happened in the last many years, I think Terry Bradshaw was really one of the first quarterbacks that moved his hand up. A lot of quarterbacks would throw in this position. Terry Bradshaw in the 70s would start to move his hand up like this, more getting your index finger up on the tip of the ball. So if a quarterback is having trouble throwing a spiral, we might want to have him move his hand up the ball a little bit so that he is in that position right there. But the main thing that we're going to focus on right now is getting that palm off the ball. So the first drill we do with this, just to so the players are comfortable with doing this, is they're just going to actually lie down right on the ground, you guys. And all they're going to do is just take the ball, go back down on your back, guys, and all you're going to do is just nice and easy throws up in the air, and you're getting used to that kind of snapping motion, just like that, Lucas. Good. Not too far. Just work on getting their grip. They can do this. They can even do this, say, in their basement of their house, so they can work on their touch a little bit, and they're just getting used to that zip. Good, Lucas. There you go, Mihai. Now you're just getting used to zipping the ball, trying to get a little bit of a good spiral action. Good spiral action. There you go. Coming down and through, down and through. Excellent. Okay, and back up here, guys. Back up. Then we're going to simply get used to your body. You're going to get used to your hand following through in the correct motion. A lot of quarterbacks will snap and follow through this way. We want to make sure that we just put the ball in your left hand right now, guys. We're going to put your elbow up, making sure your elbow is above your shoulder. You have your hand in this formation, in this situation right there. And all we're going to work on right now is just getting that wrist snap right now. So just down and through with the thumb. There you go, just like that. It's not, now we're not working the arm joint at all. We're not working the shoulder at all. We just want to be stationary here and just do this, snap. Getting used to that snap. Getting used to that snap and thumb down, good. Snap it down, keep your elbow bent, okay? Coming down, like there you go, good. Get that wrist snap, just snapping your wrist down. More power, really powerful movement with that thumb coming down and through. Down and through. Good, and then we'll partner up. So we'll go partners, and we're gonna work our ball above drill. So our ball above drill, we just simply put the ball up above, making sure that, again, our elbow is higher than our shoulder, our elbow is above our shoulder. Now, a lot of quarterbacks, when they throw, they'll be in a position like this. So that angle of the ball there is not really utilizing that wrist action, okay? So we're going to turn, and we're going to just ask Mihai to move the ball, move the ball, move the ball, move the ball. So actually he's just really kind of cranking up that energy source, that motor, and then he's going to release in the same fashion that we just did as he came down and through the drill that we did without even a football in our hands. So we're just going to watch these guys making sure, again, elbow up, push it as far as they can this way, and just snap it down and through. Here we go. Elbow up, good. A little more delay up there, Theo. There you go, good, just like that. Snap it down and through. Good. There you go, perfect. Good, you guys. Excellent. Good. Turn it, delay it, good. Hold it, good. Turn and snap it down and through. Excellent. There you go. Excellent, good. See how these guys are really getting used to following through already. That's great. They're getting used to that grip. So we're going to take a look at this grip, and we're going to make sure that if the quarterback is not getting a lot of zip on that ball, probably one of the very first things that we're going to look at is making sure that he does not have too much palm on the ball, because if he, again, too much palm on the ball, he's not going to be able to get that good wrist mobility. He's not going to be able to turn his wrist. No palm on the ball, so we're just barely fingertips. Okay, barely fingertips. Turn, turn, turn. You get much more momentum. You get much more of a turn there, and we're just going to come down and snap that through now. Up and snap it. Good. There you go. Just like that. See that? Nice, efficient throw. We're not bringing the ball down at all. The ball is staying up. I might even stand right here and make sure that that ball does not drop. Perfect. See that trajectory? That's excellent. Good. Just snap it through. Get used to that nice snap. Elbows up. Get a good delay. There you go. Turn it. See now. So right here you can see that Theo is getting used to this, right? He's going to get used to throwing the ball back here, because in a game when things are happening so fast, it's going to be difficult for him to be thinking, oh, where's that ball position got to be? But if he's continuing to do this drill, we simply call it ball above drill. Ball above drill, we're here, we're turning, turning, turning. I'm going to get him to push it a little bit more. There you go, and really snap that through now, keeping that elbow. There you go, good. Snap it down and through. Really get that wrist snap. Really get that wrist snap. Checking the palm, good, perfect grip right there. I love it. Elbows up, he's in great position, his eyes are up, he's good and athletic. There you go. Okay, down and through. Down and through. Turn, turn, there you go, and snap it down and through. There you go, now you got it. Good. See how he's really following through with that? Good, but we're really just emphasizing that wrist snap right now. Good. Excellent, you guys.
Thanks for joining us here on Touchdown BC. Remember to be safe when trick-or-treating. Also keep in mind, if somebody is handing out fresh fruit or toothbrushes instead of candy, it doesn't mean they're bad people. It just means they're failing at Halloween. Have a good weekend.